Hey guys, Funsho here from We Coach Crypto. Hope you're all doing well. Going to give you a market update today and also go through 12 massive reasons that Charles Edwards, who's an asset manager at Capriol, believes that the bottom could well be in and that risk on assets are likely to move upwards from here. I'm going to be going through some of the charts and also sharing a couple of news stories with you. So let's get into it. So guys, welcome. Market update on Funsho from We Coach Crypto. Going to be going through some of the news and some reasons why I believe the bottom could potentially be in. Those scales are starting to tilt towards that now. Going to be showing you a few different reasons as to why. And of course, as you guys know, we are on a mission to help 1 million people understand cryptocurrency. And the way that we're helping to do that is we've got our free crypto academy. Now you can join that by clicking the link in the description below. It's packed with useful resources, news, articles. You get access to all of the team. And we've got over 15 years experience between us investing in digital assets like Bitcoin. So if you're looking to learn more, it's a great place for you to be. And we also talk about different upcoming projects that we believe have got huge upside. So if you're interested in joining, click the link in the description below and make sure you give us a thumbs up and click the notification bell to make sure that you're getting notified about future videos. And obviously as well, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So let's get into it. So guys, I'm going to start off with the Bitcoin rainbow price chart. Now, this is a really cool chart that shows you the way that Bitcoin has been moving over the years. It shows you the halvings, and based on the different colors that are on this rainbow chart, it gives you an indication as to what you should do, which is extremely useful. So blockchaincenter.net, and then you can just click onto the Bitcoin rainbow price chart. But what we can see here, okay, is every time we've come into this blue area, which it says is basically a fire sale and it's the best possible place to be accumulating Bitcoin, it's been kind of signaling the bottom of the market. And we've seen that happen here in 2015. We've seen it happen over here in 2016. We've seen it happen in 2019. And we've seen it happen in 2020. We're now over here and it's looking like it could potentially start to move upwards. So really good, useful chart for you guys to keep an eye on. And I'm going to show you a couple more as well. Okay, so this one here is called the Fear and Greed Index, okay? And it gives you a scale which starts off kind of a red, comes over to green. And it will give you a score out of 100 as to what the feeling is, the sentiment in the market based on a number of different analysis points. So you've got the historical values here. Right now, we're in fear mode. We're at number 30. Okay, yesterday we were at 34, but last month we were at 19. So there is definitely a swing starting to occur in people's confidence in the market. So again, this is a really, really good tool that you guys should be keeping an eye on. You can go on to alternative.me and then click onto the crypto section and the Fear and Greed Index. Right, so guys, I'm just going to run you through the overall market now. So the market cap at the moment, it's down 1.35% on the 24 hour. It's currently at $1.07 trillion. Okay, Bitcoin at the moment is at $22,924. It's up about 0.42%. Over the last 24 hours and the last 7 days, it's pretty much been where it is. It's kind of traveling sideways, just bouncing off the daily. Ethereum's at $1,619. And again, we haven't had a huge bout of movement over the last 7 days and 24 hours. It's only had a drop of about 2%. Okay, we've got BNB, which is number 5. It's running at $303 currently. That's had a little bit more of an upwards trajectory. Over the last 24 hours, it's up about 4.2%. And on the 7 day, it's up 12.5%. Okay, XRP is at 37 cents, up a tiny bit, 0.15%. And on the 7 day, it's up about 4%. But as you can see here, there's not been a great deal of movement over the last sort of 24-hour period if we look at a number of the top 20 coins. I think the maximum that we've got here from a movement perspective is probably Uniswap, which is about 3%, running at $9 at the moment. So I'm expecting us to have a move very soon. I'm just going to show you why. Just going to show you the charts now. Just give me one moment. Okay, so as you can see here, this is Bitcoin. This is on the 1 day chart. Okay, and what you can see here is there is your bottom as things stand, $17,600 roughly. Okay, and what we've produced here is a high, a lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, and at the moment we've been holding quite well, which makes sense based on what we've been looking at in the market at the moment. Now, there is a channel that you can form here, which I'm going to show you. Right, so what I'm showing you here, I've come to the 4 hourly chart, okay, and I've drawn in this parallel channel. And the reason I've done that, you can see here that it's wicked up to the top of that channel. It's come down and wicked down to the bottom of this channel. Likewise, come back up to the top, wicked off again at the bottom here, and that is the higher high that we're at the moment. Now, if we actually go into this in a little bit more detail, what you can see here is that the daily, okay, it's managed to hold on it, and it's held it pretty well. And this smaller channel that I've drawn within here, it has not come underneath that channel, and it has only slightly wicked out of it. Now, what we've got to think about is as things progress, the likelihood is, based on the trend that we're seeing here, where it's producing higher highs and lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, we're likely to get a lower high here. We have to break this level for that to be invalidated. Now, realistically, even if we drop under the daily and come out of this small channel that I've put in place here, the likelihood is that we're probably going to see a bounce based on this trend line that we've got coming up here. But there's also the potential that it can continue to go sideways until it actually reaches that point and then starts to work its way up. So I'm still, as things stand in the short term, fairly bullish on the market. We could have a short rollover that could occur over the weekend, for example. Weekends are very scammy, we know that. Because obviously you've got the CME gap and there are a lot of manipulators out there in the market. But as things stand, until this level here gets rejected, this is a bullish formation. So I think as things stand, if we can get ourselves up to this kind of level and break it, okay, where that previous high is, which I've got here at 24,717, anywhere between that range and down here at 20,755, I'm not worried. It can bounce around in there for as long as it needs to, but obviously we want to see a break to that upside. So we'll keep an eye on it, guys. As things stand, we've got a bullish structure, but I want to come on to a very good Twitter thread that I came across, and there's also a Cointelegraph article that I've shared in our Crypto Academy that you guys should check out. Just going to touch on a few of those points now. Okay, so this is a tweet by Charles Edwards, okay, and it's called the 12 Bitcoin Capitulations. So what Charles was written about here, and he's a very big asset manager for Capriole, and he's written the raw account of evidence for major Bitcoin capitulation today is insane. Each occurrence alone is a rare event and adds to the probability that forward risk returns are skewed positively. Let's take a look at the 12 signs Bitcoin capitulation has had. So what he goes into looking at here is the supply transferred at a loss, which is a new metric. Okay, and what it shows on this chart here, which is courtesy of Glassnode, the percentage of the total supply transferred at a loss hit 1.9% last month. Historically, when this metric breaches 1.5%, it demonstrates that a large portion of the market is in pain. Most were also great accumulation zones. So obviously in the past, they've been really good. Now, the other thing to notice here, number 2, is Bitfinex whales are dead. So Bitfinex is known as the home of whale traders. It has seen Bitcoin perpetual open interest drop over 70% in the last 2 months. So the Bitfinex whales have clinically been wiped out. And you can see that on this chart here. I mean, that is a huge drop down. Okay. Number 3, consumer confidence. So CCI is at an all-time low, and the CCI measures consumer sentiment, expected consumption and savings. CCI just hit an all-time low, lower than the 2020 Corona crash, lower than the 2008 GFC, and lower than the high inflation of the 1970s and 80s. And you can see that here, plain as day on the charts. Okay. Number 4, Bitcoin is dead. We all know about this one. Worldwide Google searches for Bitcoin dead hit its highest level on record this June. This is another useful barometer for market sentiment. Rothschild, the time to buy it is when there's blood in the streets. Classic. Okay. Number 5, short-term holder capitulation. In November 2021, 90% of the market was short-term holders. Short-term holders have capitulated and now represent just 58%. A growing base of long-term holders has historically built out the base of the bear market for the next bull run. You can see that on this chart here for the Bitcoin realized cap hodl waves. Number 6 is hash ribbon miner capitulation. That happened recently. Our hash ribbon indicator shows that the current miner capitulation has been going for 55 days and is set to breach the 2-month mark. There have only been 3 other miner capitulations of longer duration than today's in Bitcoin history. And again, you can see that on the chart there. Number 7, the worst stock market real returns in 250 years. We've just seen the worst inflation-adjusted down draws in traditional markets in the last 8 generations. Enough said. So you've got here chart for S&P 500 real terms, worst since 1872, and it's the worst in 150 years. And you can see that right there on the chart for 2022. Worse than the Great Depression, worse than World War I, worse than the Panic of 1907, worse than anything that we've seen for a very, very long time. Number 8 is capitulation in money supply growth. The M2 growth rate is now approaching the lows of the last decade. Slowdown in the current rate of tightening from here would make sense, as Raoul Pal notes manufacturing is a leading indicator and suggesting a turn is now occurring. And we can see that there, starting to get that little bounce and a little bit of a turn up in global M2 deviation from trend and the crypto total market cap year-on-year percentage. Number 9, on-chain capitulation, DNTV. So DNTV is the dynamic range NVT, Bitcoin's PE ratio, has capitulated to March 2020 lows, lower than the December 2018 Bitcoin low. Look at the recent sharp uptick, sign of positive growth in a value region, which can suggest a macro turning point. We can see that just there where it started to uptick, okay, on that chart. Number 10, More on-chain capitulation, NUPL, long-term holder net unrealized profit and loss, which is what NUPL stands for, has hit the reset button. It briefly went into negative territory, suggesting a high ratio of losing positions in the market. We can see that right there on the 7-day moving average for Bitcoin entity adjusted LTH NUPL. Number 11, yet more on-chain capitulation, the MVRV. This one is actually very important. Bitcoin's market value to realized value. Now, it's entered the capitulation zone in June, the green zone on the chart below, which is right there. It's just running across. Okay, but now has already started to recover, and we can see that it's started to bounce out of it. Okay, and then finally, number 12, the ultimate sign of capitulation, bankruptcies. Okay, take a look at the level of institutional capitulation here. Leverage is one of the best indicators for relative over and undervaluation in Bitcoin, and many major leverage crypto institutions have been wiped out. And obviously, we know that very well. Tesla sells 75% of their Bitcoin holdings. Lender Babel Finance lost over 280 million by trading customer funds. Lender Vold owes 363 million to retail investors after halting withdrawals. Hedge fund Three Arrows Capital files for Chapter 15 bankruptcy. Broker Genesis files for a $1.2 billion claim against Three Arrows Capital. Broker and lender Voyager filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. And of course, lender Celsius files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, if you're not following Charles Edwards, get on Twitter and follow him. This guy's very smart, and I want to give him a shout out. You know, it makes a lot of sense. And you guys that obviously already follow us, that are in our crypto academy, part of our inner circle, you guys know we've been sitting there, we've been accumulating, and we've had our finger on the trigger saying we're not 100% sure if that bottom is in, but as time goes on and we've got more indication that it is in, then obviously we would let you guys know. I feel we're not far away from that. Don't get me wrong, we haven't got a crystal ball. This can still come down to 12K, 10K territory. Anything is possible with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but there are so many signs and indicators to tell us actually the bottom could well be in. I'd love to know what you guys think. Okay, please leave some comments for us down in the comments section. Hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been educational for you. And of course, don't forget to join our free crypto academy. Doesn't cost you anything, but it gives you everything, all the news, all the articles, up and coming projects, a group, a community of like-minded investors that are all here to win. So if you want to be a part of it, join today. Click the link in the description. Hope you all have a fantastic end of your week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.